Nights are on, guys.
It's 8 o'clock, we have a quorum could stand for the pledge of allegiance, but pledge of choose to. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we ask for your guidance and your direction. We ask for, you place the words in our mouths that are providential, that are pleasing and comforting. We ask that the decisions we make be beneficial to you, to all the citizens of Hendricks County. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. If you haven't signed in our reports, please do so. Approval of the minutes from April 28th.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second. Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries. Drain maintenance fees of $800.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye. I think it was.
Speak up because the mics aren't
All right.
working right now.
Hello. Total fees paid out of drain maintenance, $4,345.
So moved.
Second.
Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries. Acceptance of the auditor's report.
Move to accept the auditor's report. Second.
Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries. First item on town projects, Brownsburg SO 126, Inside Engineering. Recommended continuance.
Move to continue. Second.
Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed,
This is
motion
what,
carries.
how many times to continue?
Yeah, this is on here.
Yeah.
Don, you want to come up and explain the issues on this? Good question, Jack.
Thank you. My name's Don Fisher. I'm with Insights Engineering, and I'm the engineer for this project. And we're working with the Country Mark Pipeline. They have a petroleum pipeline, and in December they told me exactly what they wanted us to do, and then in last month they changed everything. So I've been keeping, the surveyor's office up to speed with everything, but because we have to keep working through issues with them, it's caused lots of delays. And Brownsburg, when I first filed with them, I told them I thought we should file with you guys after we had some things worked out. They said, no, we need you signed up with the board at the same time, which of course then just keeps pushing you guys out, and I really apologize for that. I think it might be best, I think I have everything resolved by next month, but maybe it's best to ask for a 2-month continuance just to make sure everything is resolved and finalized. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that.
The board, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, consensus, that's fine. Next is Banning Engineering, SO 926, Greenbelt.
Good morning.
All right.
This is Ryan Lindley with Banning Engineering, 853 Columbia Road, Plainfield.
Laser.
Sure. So if you put your way back memory hats on, I think it was back in January or February we discussed this. So we're here before you today for preliminary approval. This is the property in question in Pittsboro, North Pittsboro. This is the Glen drain, comes down through here. Very big drainage basin, almost a square mile, not quite. But we figured a way to reroute the drain around and also handle the surface water around the perimeter of the site. Fortunately, there are some very nice neighbors involved with this project as well that we're sharing the easement with, proposed easement. Other than that, I do have the plan we can bring up if you want, or we can just go right into questions. What do you guys want to do? Yeah, see the plan? Sure. So our easement varies, but it's right around 90 to 100 feet all the way around. We feel this is an urban drain situation, so we are 25 feet off the top of the bank on each side for the easement location. The ditch is about 34 feet wide at the bottom. Again, this is a very large drainage basin. So the north is to your, my right. The reroute comes around. The tile will be right in the bank for the relocate, and then connect up existing in this location.
The regulated drain is the tile,
Yes.
so we would still be responsible to maintain the tile. And this is preliminary, just to let you know.
You're recommending preliminary and final? Or no, just preliminary, right?
Preliminary.
Okay. And I talked to, you're gonna have a new owner on the east of you. And
Yeah,
I,
surprises, yeah.
without using his name, and he's okay with this, he told me. He said he's seen this.
Yeah.
My only question has been all along, are we gonna violate the FEMA standards? When they
No.
build these buildings, are they gonna be below grade where the water will shoot?
No, we'll have to have, be above the flood protection grade for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the question that, you know, we cannot give up FEMA.
No.
Anyway.
And we're not disturbing any of the floodway. So.
Question?
Is this gonna be concrete reinforced pipe for the tile, or how you?
Good question. We were
Some
gonna,
discussions
yeah.
on that. What would you like?
Well, are you gonna be building, are you asking for reduction in the easements?
Oh, yes, they are.
How
Yeah.
much reduction?
The easement total width will vary between 90 to 100 feet.
That'll
You
be the
said the
total
tiles
once
on the
we're.
left side. So the tile's on one side though, so
Yeah, the
really
tile-
to maintain that tile, you're only gonna have the side to work on,
One side to work.
which is 25 feet.
25 feet, yeah, from the top of bank. The tile will be, Mr. Gasson, if you wouldn't mind scrolling down. Maybe. So the tile will be roughly close to the top of the bank, but I think we're gonna move it closer. That's why we're leaning towards a perforated pipe, just to help with the surface water and you know, the percolation that may happen there. But if you'd rather see concrete, we can do that as well.
As long as it's not driven over, I guess.
Yeah,
No, I mean, this is
Should be driven over.
all in side yard.
At the January
Off the pavement.
meeting, the drainage board was pretty adamant about the reduction. And at that time, you wanted 50 feet.
We originally asked for 30 until we figured out that this drainage basin was a lot larger than we thought,
Yeah.
so.
So just to let you all know where they're at and what you discussed in January.
so Dave, are you okay with this, with the easement they're now at?
I'm working through it. It's preliminary, finals coming up. We can maintain it with 25 as long, here's our problem. We have a project a little farther south of here where we reduced the easement, and we thought, well, we can use the parking lot to get to whatever, and it doesn't work out very well at all. We're squeezed on that pretty tightly, to the point that it's tough to maintain that. It's an open ditch we're maintaining, not a tile. So it's a little bit different, and there are trees involved in it. But we just want to make sure that whatever we reduce, that we can go in there and maintain it and not have issues with buildings and utilities and things like that, which we have problems a little farther south on another project.
So they're asking to go from 150 to the 100.
In 25 from the top of bank
Yeah,
on the
25 from the
side
top.
that our tile's on.
A couple questions. How deep, do we know about how deep on average the tile will be and what size?
The tile's actually a lot deeper than the surface, obviously. It runs, currently there's, I would call it a drainage way, and the tile's about 3 feet deep, I think. Mitch and Bill, yeah. So it was about 3 feet deep from the surface, so- and
We're gonna maintain that.
that's why we're pushing it over.
Okay. So at least it's not 7 feet deep with
No.
a smaller easement to maintain.
And there'll be, I'm sure these owners will allow you to use the truck pavement here in the back, so. If that needs to be
Well,
some
do
sort of
we-
agreement.
I think the whole thing's a good idea, but do we need to have that on record? That the neighbor is okay?
We'll have to get them to sign an
For
easement.
final approval, yeah.
So here's my
Yes,
question.
Yes, absolutely.
So if we have to get in there, obviously it's public parking, so we'll be able to go into it, I would assume. Do we want an easement where we can actually access this? Do you know what I mean, Greg? Do we need an easement off the county road that we can access? This is,
I would think we
I don't
would,
know.
because over at Liston on the Ross ditch, that's an issue.
this is our easement here. Do we need an access easement off the county road to get to it? Because we can't really get to it back here.
If you can't get to it, you need an
Yes.
So-
Which, David, it's just like the one we have at the Ross ditch at Liston. where we
Right.
can't-
We can't get to them.
We have the easement, we can't get to it.
Right.
Right.
So,
Just
So
so you
before final
know,
approval, then, is that what we need then, Brian, from you?
we can do that.
Okay.
You
I
also
think-
have access
I'm sure you
from a
can.
proposed public road on the west side of the property, so
Yeah.
that'll get you into here, or to the perimeter. If you wish, we could give you an easement right here.
Okay.
my concern is you have this building here, and what's the access back? There's all these issues that I'm thinking about when we reduce the easement and we start doing a commercial project here. I just want us to be aware of that. This is preliminary. We can go into the weeds of final and deal with that. But I wanted to let the drainage board be aware of it because you did talk in January about a 50-foot easement, reducing it.
That's too small.
So I'm good with preliminary. Let's
Okay.
get to
Okay.
details afterwards.
Chair will entertain a motion then regarding preliminary approval.
Move approved.
Second.
0926 Greenbelt
Been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Those in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and none opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Ryan. I know you worked hard, Ryan.
See you next time.
Next is,
I will be in touch.
we need a motion for continuance on SO 726.
Move to continue.
Second.
Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries as well. SO 626,
Until when? Until when?
June 9th.
yes, June 9th, let it be recorded, June 9th. And Avon, SO 626. Need a motion for continuance until June the 9th as well.
Second.
It's moved second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries. Next is Dale Cruz, SO 826.
Morning.
Dale Cruz, Cruz Consulting, 7384 Business Center Drive. In Avon, and this project is for C&J Well Drilling. It's in Pittsboro. It's on the west side. This is the steel plant. It's on the west side of the steel plant. They own about 30 acres in the southwest corner of County Road 800 North and 150 East. The proposal in front of us today is for C&J to build in this corner right here. They're going to use about 6 acres of the 30. 30 just going to remain tillable. They're going to use about 6 acres in this corner to build 2 buildings. They're about 24,000 square feet each for their, they're going to move some of their facility here, not all of it, but they're going to move some of their facility here. And so we're asking approval to do that. There's a legal drain tile that runs through here. It's been rebuilt there's a riser out in this field about right in here, and it has been rebuilt to there. So our proposal is to build our detention pond on the south side of the proposed improvements and connect in our outlet into that legal drain just past where it's been rebuilt. Eventually, this tile, as it goes through this field, eventually this tile will have to be replaced as this further develops. This first one in this corner, let's just get into that tile where it's already been rebuilt. It runs through I think it runs down
It does.
through the steel mill.
Now, we've redone it through the steel mill, haven't
Yes, we have.
we?
Put it around the perimeter.
Because it went right through the middle of it. Yeah.
You're good with it, Dale?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go back, Joe Miller proved to me that NDOT in 1962, I believe it was, the water comes from along the north side of the interstate, Commerce Way, and comes under. The county has now improved that, so it comes under the interstate. And they just show pond right there.
Who does?
That's what, they just said we're gonna store the water right there in that northeast corner and on the road.
So there's a pipe on the east side of the road. There's a storm structure actually, there's two of them. There's two storm structures on the east side of the road. On the east side of the road, they're actually very near the road right away that run down and connect into your tile. We also found in this corner right here, there also is a broken off riser.
Yes.
That drains, actually, it kind of drains weird direction, but it drains northeasterly under the intersection and connects into that pipe also.
Yeah.
Sounds like you know, I just want to make you aware you're gonna have water coming under there toward you.
Yeah, that thing rages at times because we were out there doing our topo survey and we had to go back to get the depths in the structures because it was raging water.
Questions from board members? And the chair will entertain a motion.
I would move for preliminary and final approval on SO 826.
Second.
Seconded. This is a nice move for these people to move from where they are now to this.
Yes.
We've been working on this for a minute.
Yeah. No further questions, and those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, and opposed, motion carries. Next is MIP 1216, Cruise Consulting as well.
Again, Dale Cruz Consulting, 7384 Business Center Drive in Avon. This property is a 20-acre parcel. It's proposed to be broken into 3 lots. It's on the west side of County Road 425 East, and right near the intersections, right here, right near the intersection of 150 North. It's this 20-acre parcel right here. Family bought it. There's an existing home right here. The proposal is to divide this 20 acres into 3 lots. 1 lot around this existing house, and then 2 lots in this field back here. 1 lot would be right here in this area to the southwest of the pond, and then the remaining acreage back here for which would be the 3rd lot. The perimeter drains will drain into this pond. This pond has an overflow pipe that's been recently updated. It had an erosion problem, so they recently updated this pond outlet pipe. And then there's proposed to be no improvements made to this existing home site. They're just going to make it into its own lot. So 20 acres, 3 lots, 3 homes, 2 new, 1 existing.
As long as the county isn't responsible for that dam, we're good.
For the dam?
Yeah.
You can see the staff is recommending preliminary and final approval, and there's no regulated drain. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval, MIP 1216.
Second.
Moving to second, is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Next is MIP 1217, Cruise Consulting.
So this project, Dale Cruz Consulting, 7384 Business Center Drive in Avon. This property is up near Liston. It's south and west of Liston. It's a 10-acre parcel that is located right here. And a customer that recently bought it wants to divide it into two lots so he can build 1 house and then either keep or sell the other lot, but his goal is to build 1 home on this currently. basically strike a line down the center of this park. It's not right in the middle, but basically a line down the center. And we have access to the legal drain that's over here, is where our perimeter drain outlets will go.
That's the mini Tucker arm to the Ross.
Which is an open ditch.
It is.
It's an open ditch, and our perimeter drain outlets will go down to this corner, both of them will. There is some floodplain on this property that we've had to maintain separation distances from for the houses. The house will be up on these, there's a high spot kind of in the middle. The houses will favor this high spot. Perimeter drain outlet's gonna run through this low area down to the creek to help to drain that low area right there. But that's our petition, is 2 lots on this 10 acres.
You've heard Dale's presentation. Any questions from board members? Chair will entertain a motion on 1217.
Move for approval, MIP 1217.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And none opposed, motion carries. MIP 1218, Dale Cruz.
Again, Dale Cruz, Cruz Consulting, 7384 Business Center Drive in Avon. This property is getting down towards I-70 and State Road 39. It's just a little bit north of I-70. It's a 40-acre parcel right here. The Teal family, it's a Schaefer family actually, is the parents have passed and the 3 siblings have inherited the land, this 40 acres, and the desire is to create a 3-lot minor plat along the county road. And then we also have done an exempt plat. There's an existing home here. We've done an exempt plat to separate off this existing house, which is not part of our petition today. I'm just bringing it up because that's part of this, what we've done with this property. Made an exempt plat lot around that house. There did used to be a house right here that's been tore down. That's a barn that's still remaining. This house has been tore down. So the 3 lots would be vacant lot between the barn and the house, and then another, what's really a vacant lot where the old house used to sit, and then another vacant lot here. They're about 5 acres in size, and then there'll be a 23 acre remaining parcel behind it. So in total, this 40 acres will have 3 acre exempt plat house lot, 3 minor plat lots, which is what the petition in front of you this morning is for a 3-lot minor plat, and then 1 23 acre parcel that they sell to whoever wants to buy and build a house on. But our petition this morning is for a 3-lot minor plat that we would ask for approval of. The perimeter drain outlets will go to a creek that's back here in the back, and also to a drainage way that's it's right here that runs off over into the east. And that's all. Roadside ditch, pre-cut and dry, drains down to this crossing right here.
The one on the east side, I mean, the aerial photo kind of shows that maybe it holds water. I mean, is it making it through the woods fine, or does it kind of pond there?
Are you talking about right here?
Yeah, the east side, that swale, you pointed to us, that
Here.
swale, yeah.
This is this low, you can turn contours on. There's a pretty pronounced,
Okay.
there's a pretty pronounced drainage way there. And there's a lot of fall there. So I think it makes it. There's a tile that actually comes up through here too. You can kind of see the dry area.
Yeah.
Right there. There's a tile that kind of comes up into this also.
Okay.
As you can see, noted, there's no regulated drain involved. Staff is recommending preliminary and final approval. Chair will entertain a motion or questions.
Move to approve MIP 1218.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed or none opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next is DPR 532. Continuance is recommended to June the 9th. Chair will entertain a motion for continuance.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and seconded for continuance. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
They're not opposed, motion carries. Next is MIP 1213 Swanson.
Move to continue.
Thank you, till June
Second.
the 9th. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
They're not opposed, motion carries. Next is MAP 760 Stillmere. Again, recommended continuance.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor of the, is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 And those are on June 9th.
All on June 9th, absolutely. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
They're not opposed, motion carried. S1026, preliminary and final banning engineering. No regulated drain.
Hey, Wade. I can't get the contours off of the GIS for some reason, so you're gonna see contours probably. So this project is just west of Dales. This is Johnson & Johnson, 3970s right down here. Hendricks Power has a facility here, and we're talking about this open field. Go ahead, Wade.
Wade
do you want
Banning,
this?
yes. Wade Banning Engineering, 853 Columbia Road, Plainfield, Indiana. We're working with Hendricks Power and Stella Energy Group to install a new battery electric storage site adjacent to the Hendricks Power substation that was built back in early 2010s. It's about a 2-acre site. We will be extending the stone laydown area to the property to the east there. Sorry,
Other way.
other way.
There we go.
So extending the stone laydown area this way, there's an existing dry detention basin, which we will extend along the south property line to detain the proposed development. We'll be installing battery storage sites.
Where is
Yes.
the center, Centerville,
Center Valley?
Cemetery, Center Valley
It
Cemetery?
is right there. Here's a cemetery.
So I have a
There, okay.
point of reference. Thank you.
Okay.
Continue.
Yep. So the intention is to install a battery storage site to collect energy and distribute it during off-peak hours. Any questions?
They're gonna drain into the existing, they're gonna have detention on the south end, drain into the existing to the west. Then it drains south through an existing swell all the way down to the ditch that goes under 39 through Love, on the north side of Love's truck stop and on over to McCracken Creek.
If you'll notice, there's no regulated drain involved, and they recommend preliminary and final approval.
So moved for S1026.
Second.
Moving to second, is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next
Thank you very much.
is S1225, Lock Mueller on County Road 1000.
You all know where 1,000 North is, east of 267.
Morning, my name is Dustin Jennings. I'm with Lockmuller Group Engineering. I'm the lead drain engineer on this project.
Which one would you like?
So the top one there, I threw the reports in there as well.
You want the slideshow?
Whatever you feel comfortable, that looks
I'm comfortable with any.
pretty good there.
That's nice.
So, yeah, County Road 1000 North, we're looking at about 1.5 miles. It goes from State Road 267, goes east, and it's gonna tie in roughly where Ronald Reagan Parkway is coming up to County Road 1000. And so it'll get a few hundred feet further east of that. The goal of the project, well, to improve the road. So there's gonna be widening, added turn lanes. It'll still be a 2-lane road, but the shoulders will be much larger. And then my role in this is looking at the drainage improvements. And so there would be side ditches with the project. All the existing pipes and culverts are being replaced with reinforced concrete, either pipe or boxes for the county standards. The biggest structure, and then what's actually in a legal drain, is at the Martin Dugan Arm 1, that structure is being replaced. I'll note there is a bridge at White Lake Creek, but that's not part of this project, so that's remaining Hyannis is. So here's roughly the pavement, the shoulder outline of the project. You can see White Lake Creek over here on the west. Martin Dugan Arm 1, that structure is being replaced. There's about 200 acres coming to that structure, so there's no floodplain issues there. Yeah, you can go to the next
Laser
slide.
pointer, you want the laser pointer?
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Quick question, if I can get mine to work. This pond right here, is that, seems close to the road, are you not changing that at all, or it doesn't have to be filled in? Or I didn't know how much widening there will be, but it seems like it's close to the
the
road.
road does move closer to it. We could look at the.
Yeah, Ryan Patton, Black Miller Group, engineer record for this project. We are not getting into that pond. We are widening the road a little bit. It will be protected, I believe, with guardrail. But we are not getting into that pond. It will not be filled.
It's just maintaining existing drainage there.
Thank you for that question, because that's what I was gonna ask. So there'll be guardrail then to keep people from going off into the pond? Okay.
I'm 95% sure it was guardrail. I'd have to verify that, but.
We look at clear zone, and if it's, how close it is to the road, it's a road design issue, how close it is for traffic safety. If it's closer than a certain amount, then we put guardrail.
Martin Dugan, you said box culvert?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Correct, so a sump box culvert,
Thank you.
3-sided or 4-sided?
four-sided.
4-sided, sump to foot?
Some,
Foot, thank you.
at least a foot.
Yeah, at least a
2
foot.
feet is preferable.
Yeah, this is, if you guys recall, this is the arm that we went to war with IDEM on. You remember that, Jack?
Sure do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that box culvert, just to clarify, is currently sumped following NDOT standards, which we were looking at, the rocky bottom. So it was only a 3-inch minimum is what they're looking at. I think we're closer to 6-inch, but if it needs to be deeper, it doesn't affect things hydraulically. It's just a cost question.
Well, I would like for the commissioners to pay for more of a sump there, if we can, but I'll talk to John.
Well, let's discuss that, because sumping those things a foot, in my personal opinion, is a really good idea.
I agree, but the commissioners will pay for it. So, it's up to you. It's up to you, but I would like it. Yes.
Well, how about from Michael and Jack? You guys live in that area.
It's not a significant extra cost to something deeper.
Okay, it isn't, that's, okay. Thanks, John.
Sounds like it needs to be something.
I think we're okay with that.
John to the rescue.
That's not significant.
Thank you, John. Okay, does that conclude your presentation?
I had one more brief slide here.
That one or the next one?
Well, this is the one I was thinking of. So these are the basic watersheds we had here. The Martin Dugan's not shown. That is about 200 acres, but a sub-consultant did that design on there. But the red would be what culverts and pipe are being replaced. There is some storm sewer over here on the Martin coming in from the west. You can see this gap. That's where the Ronald Reagan Parkway is tying in.
Is this where the tile we brought in from Wings Meadows, is that where?
I think Wings Meadows further east.
That's further east, okay, thank you.
That's a lot lower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they said to be short, so
Okay.
if you have any questions.
Board have any more questions, or Chair will entertain a motion, either one?
I would move, excuse me, I would move preliminary and final approval as 1225.
Second.
Then move to second, further discussion.
Further discussion, do we want to state that for that box culvert to be sumped?
I think we do.
We need
Well,
to
that's
specify
part of the
that.
record, that
Okay.
we prefer it be some to foot.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you.
That's what?
That's, pardon?
Up to what?
Sump the box.
Some, a foot, as part of the, and John said it's not a big deal, but it's good to be in the record, yes. Any further questions? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed or not opposed, motion carries. Mr. Steerball. Dave Gaston.
Okay. I don't have anything else for you all?
So the Barnett quote,
No,
It's supposed to come off of there.
it's not there.
it's not there, okay.
I'm sorry.
Pretend
Well, that's
like
fine.
it's not there.
That's fine.
You didn't see it.
At this time, then, anyone in the audience who have anything to bring forward the drainage board? Introduction of business by board members.
I just wanted to follow up from last week with like Kreider and Kreider. Did we get the Kate Lee right? Did we get all that? Or like what Jack was concerned about? Where did we get to on that? Because they were on the wrong tile. I think they had moved a pump there yesterday, so I was just trying to follow up on that.
Yeah, I think we're okay with the connection for the Kate Lee. I think we know which one that is, and I've talked to the surveyor's office, and they're gonna verify that you saw it and you felt like it was. I think we're gonna dye test it when the water goes down, that we can dye test it to make sure we're at the right place. They went out yesterday, but there's too, I mean.
We caught the
can't dye
guys
test
on
it.
site rotating water
What's that?
with the pump, their big trash pump. They were pumping it here and then pumping it back. They were circling the water and thought they were getting rid
They
of
were
it.
just staying busy.
Well, it evaporates in that motion.
Yeah, he goes, no, we aren't. I said, look at your hose. What are you doing? They were circling the water.
When I was up there last week one morning on Friday, I think. And I didn't see that. They were pumping from one side to the other. It was flowing to the east. So I don't know where they were doing that or who was doing that. But
See, it
when I saw it, we were
used to
pumping
flow
from one
west,
side to
and they
the
were
other.
pushing it east and they were just cycling it.
Anything else?
Amazing.
Well, we're getting there. We're working on it.
Yeah, and so there's a couple issues. One is the connection to actual Kate Lee, and then the other is making sure that any other tiles we intersect, making sure we're connecting those and dump them in the right place. So, and that, that's as we go along, progress and find them, making sure that we're perpetuating them. But the main thing I wanted to get confirmed was that the Kate Lee connection is on the right one.
Well, I'm glad they got that north pump hooked up because you can see down farther south, I mean, the tile's been blowing up for a week.
Yeah.
You know, it's just all that water, especially those houses to the north, all their water is being slowed down significantly.
Yeah, because
They did uncover a 4-inch tile that's running like Niagara Falls out of their cut bank. Are they gonna connect that on the west side now?
we'll have to connect it to something.
Yeah, you're gonna have to connect it to something because it's live under the road and it's just blowing out the big ditch that they cut.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it, Jack,
It's
so I
only a
can't.
4, but it's really blowing water.
High pressure, so, yeah, I haven't seen it, so I can't tell you, yes, we're gonna do this with that one, but anything we've run into, I mean,
And enough pressure blew the side of the bank out.
yeah, we'll reconnect it to something.
Anything else? Then the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Move in second. Those in favor of the motion, somebody saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, meeting
I swear I double checked that agenda yesterday to take that off there.
To be honest, 5 by 10.
Yes. We have the one without the comments, we have the one with the
Something
comments. I thought I wanted the one with the comments yesterday before I sent it out, I guess not.
Yeah.
It was already done.
I haven't looked at that one. Well, send on.
Yeah, we could.
We got close, there's 2 things that they wanted to add to it. To the original bid. Yes, that's what it sounded like to me. So they wanted to make sure that everything in line before they. I just texted my daughter. A few weeks ago, and so she's okay. She's got appointments. It's critical.
But yeah, not having it, trying to keep it clean. Live one time for a race.
call our Commissioners' meeting of May the 12th to order. Please join us in a pledge to the flag and a word of prayer. Thank you. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you that we are one nation under your guidance and leadership. Father, you sustain all things. We thank you for that. Help us in our meeting today to do things that are good and right and pleasing to you, but also beneficial for the people in Hendricks County. Thank you for your guidance in our meeting, we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for joining us today. Those of you that are watching online, thank you for that as well. Feel free to send us comments, emails at any time. Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion for our minutes of our regular meeting on April 28th and also our joint commissioners and council meeting on April 28th.
Move for approval of both sets of minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further comments? None. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approval of the claims. Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Thank you, Ann, and your staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Next item is unfinished business and Jack Lawson and the Miles Family Farm. Dedication to the county. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Good to have you here. Oh,
Good morning, everybody. This is our final stage here in this presentation of the Miles Farmhouse that's located west of Danville on 36. Mr. Miles, Van Miles, to my right, is a part owner of the farm, and he's here to make the presentation of the deed and the resolution that I've shared with all of you. And so I'll just turn it over to Mr. Miles.
okay. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Very proud to represent the farm, my brother Dan Miles and my uncle Larry Miles. And I'd like to acknowledge my uncle Larry Miles for his stewardship of the farm and for his leadership. And we're very proud to give this Indiana gift deed to the council. And we thank them for accepting.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice of you.
Thank you.
Jack, thank you. Appreciate it.
If you may, if you could sign that resolution along with
Okay.
Ann, except you could do that too, and I'm going to get these recorded today.
Okay.
Okay?
I assume, do we need to do anything other than by consensus? Because we've already acted on this, I think, in a prior meeting. Okay, so I'll just sign it. Okay, or we will sign it, because it takes all three, as I look at it. All right.
And I will return the original back to you after the recording. Okay. Who would I meet with to discuss some of the transferring, I think?
Probably Mila and or Todd, or both of them.
All right. We can do that at a later date.
Yes. This is very gracious of you.
It is. We'll take good care of it.
Thank you. Yes, we will. That's for Mila.
Greg, would this be something we need to fill out to the PAs and A's and then have Ann sign there?
Have we previously approved this?
Not for the resolution.
Okay, just vote on the resolution so we can fill this out. Just vote on the resolution.
Okay.
Pass the resolution.
Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the resolution on the Miles Farm home dedication to the county.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Title company, we'll get that recorded this afternoon.
Here we go. Official.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you. I would say to anyone that's watching or in the audience, if you haven't and you drive west out of Danville on County Road or Highway 36, you will pass the Miles family home that is a historic landmark, and it is a beautiful home that now is dedicated to the county, and we're going to keep it in the shape that it's in because it is in excellent shape. And we are very grateful to the Miles family for doing this. We'll do our best to uphold what they want done with it, so thank you. Yeah. Under new business, our first item is Drees Premier Homes, and Tim?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Good. We're good.
Have before you a petition from Drees Family Homes for rezoning for a residential subdivision in Brown Township. I believe you're all familiar with the location. We've received information from the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission held a public hearing and voted 5-1 to pass a unfavorable recommendation to you all. Staff letters included was a neutral recommendation. And now it's up to you to decide on this. Any questions?
Tim, what I would like to do is, and take some liberty as chairman or president, I'm not chairman, I'm president. I'm not president, I'm one of three, so we work together.
You're our leader.
What I would like to do is ask, we don't have to do this, the public hearing on this project was held at the Plan Commission, and that's where public had input into it. But I'm gonna take advantage of our time, but I'm gonna ask if John Moore would make some comments on behalf of the petitioner, Drees Premier Homes. And then I would like to ask Mike Starkey and/or I don't know if Anthony Hessian is in the room or if anybody else named Hessian would like to make some comments following John's comments to us. But I want you to keep your comments to a very minimum amount, and I'll try to watch the time. Minimum meaning like 4 minutes. All right? Myla, maybe you can help watch the clock, and we'll shoot a gun off if you go past it. No, we won't. We won't let the sheriff get
He
upset.
moves out of the way.
So, John, please introduce yourself and address and social security number.
Well, I was gonna say, Hessians are my cousins. I can speak for Anthony too, if you'd like me to.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all.
I don't think he wants you to speak for him on this, no.
Sure. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's John Moore. My address is 9294 North Meridian Street, here on behalf of Drees Premier Homes. With me in the crowd, I have Caitlin Dofer with Drees, Stuart Huckleberry with Drees, and we also have Steve Brehob, our engineer from Manning. This is a project that Drees is very excited about. For those of you who aren't aware of Drees, Drees is a semi-custom home builder, and they are under contract to purchase approximately 40 3 acres in Brown Township between 700 and 750 North, just west of Raceway Road. It's owned by the Bushy family there. It's a small sliver of real estate. They're seeking to rezone that to allow for a residential development of up to 88 homes. That'd be the max, so right around 2 units per acre, just over 2 units per acre. The site is surrounded to the south by residential and to the east by residential. There is an existing wooded tree line to the east that will be preserved. You've got the layout there in the presentation we've provided where we have 90-foot wide lots to the east of the subdivision. Those will all be side-load garages that will buffer the homes to the east. And then the 65-foot wide lots are there to the west of the subdivision. We met with Mr. Ayers early on about the layout of the streets through the subdivision through Eaglestone. And so we've got a layout there that I think Mr. Ayers agrees with between 700 and 750. We did have a traffic study done. Traffic study there shows no traffic concerns with this development, no needed improvements at any of the intersections. With a maximum of 88 homes, there's very minimal impact on the roads. Also, I'll point out there's very minimal impact on the schools with this development because these homes are going to average between $650,000 to $750,000. They're doing a similar development down the road on 200 North in Avon. Similar development, those homes are averaging $700,000 to $750,000. So what we see, the typical buyer for these homes is really someone who's sort of stepping down and wants a nicer home. Kids are out of the homes. And so we would see maybe 40 kids at the most in a development like this. Most residential developments, they say you average 0.8 homes per kid. This would be less than that, just given the price point we're talking about here and our typical buyer. A few other things about the homes. Homes would be 1,900 to 3,600 square feet, 3 to 5 bedrooms, 3 to 5 bathrooms, 2 and 3 car garages. Like I said, sales price $600,000 to $750,000. Anticipated build out. Dries as a semi-custom home builder, they don't move at as fast as pace as you see at some other developments and home builders. They would look at maybe 20 homes a year in here being sold. So you're looking at a build out of 2027 to 2031 would be the time frame that he's selling out. As I said, Dries is also a semi-custom home builder, so there's more input from the buyer. If the buyer comes in and says, you know, we would like to move these walls, we would like to move this bedroom, we want a dog washing station, whatever, Dries obviously accommodates that, engineers that for them, and builds the home, which results in a high-end semi-custom home. I will point out there's sewer and water that is available to this site to the south. Hendricks County has run sewer up there to this area to encourage development, and this would be a natural extension of that. These homes would be on the Hendricks County Regional Sewer District, so they would be paying into that sewer fund as well. There are significant commitments that I can hand out as well. I brought those, I don't know if you've seen these from the hearing, but comes with all the ones you see for a high-end development, anti-monotony, no vinyl, no aluminum, things like that.
4 minutes.
We're done. I encourage you to look at the photographs in there, high-end homes, finishes, and we respectfully request you approve this request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Mr. Starkey, would you like to say anything?
I was not expecting this.
I know that, and he wasn't either, so no, I didn't prepare anybody.
Mike Starkey, 9225 East, County Road 700 North, Brownsburg. And the planning commission meeting, John kept saying, you know, this ground will be developed. And I agree, it's going to be developed. It has access to sewer and water. I questioned the sewer depth on the north end, especially because of the developer of MI Homes said on that north end it's very, very shallow, and he couldn't make it work when he tried to do this before. I am concerned about the police getting out there because this is county, and this is not going to be Brownsburg, but there's a lot of runs going out there from Danville to this area there, unfortunately. Comprehensive plan, we worked on this for so long. I just don't consider 88 homes on 42 acres, especially if you take out the detention ponds, to be a conservation area. There can be something a lot better that can be built on this property. I even showed you some photos about that. And the interest is there for something like that. I'm surprised John didn't know about this, but there is a loop in that property. My dad built that house on 700 North in 1983 for my sister. And there is a geothermal water line out way north of that house, 200 feet, that was not even brought up. That is a big concern for, if you put basements in there, that's going to be an issue that they're going to have to deal with. So therefore, I'm surprised that wasn't even brought up. I know it's out there, and it's way out there in that realm. But with that being said, the biggest concern, obviously, for the Hessians and myself is the drainage. I mean, we have several hundred acres that are draining through that property to go to Fox Hollow, and the outlet goes through them to Eagle Creek Reservoir, that stream there. So, but John said, you know, that the meeting, Plan Commission meeting, developments improve drainage. Personally, I've seen it not improve drainage because I've seen what happened across the road from us. So that is a huge concern because we have several tiles that go through that property. I have no idea where they're at, you know, but that's would really mess up our farm ground. So with that being said, I hope to consider, you know, what the Planning Commission supported. Unfavorable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Michael, would you like to say anything? You don't have to, but, and you're put on the spot too, like I did everybody else, because.
Do I need to say name, address?
Please.
Michael Hessian, 9825 East County Road, 600 North, Brownsburg. I wasn't planning this either. Come before for the Hessian family. I think kind of to take what Mike said as well, going off the comprehensive plan that was put out in place before this development, it didn't really encompass this type of, you know, property or development, if you will. You know, we were kind of, in a way, if this was the first one to change ag land to, you know, residential, it doesn't really, in our mind, fit what, you know, what's already been done, and we've seen what comes with that, and sometimes, you know, just the typical things we have seen since, you know, the early 2000s. You know, the houses to the east there, you know, it's almost like a house per 1.2 acres. You know, something in that nature would suit what's already there to the east, and hopefully would set a precedent for the rest of it. So in our mind, you know, we're looking, it would, and I think in all the neighbors, I know I've talked to a few that are out here as well, you know, something of that nature, you know, you get more of the 1.2 acres per lot, and start a precedent for that and for who is to come in the future, I think would be very beneficial. Also the drainage, major concern, that's a big watershed that would have a large impact on all the farm grounds. So I know with the development around our farm as well, there has been issues with development when it comes in. You have old field tiles, a lot of construction companies don't understand it. Not saying things can't be resolved, but there are definitely complications every time. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Michael. Kim, back to you. Any comments from the commissioners or questions for Tim?
No questions. I think it's just unfortunate that housing in general becomes such a contentious item, whether it's in the town or the county. And it's a very needed item within our community, but it takes its toll, and it unfortunately has a lot of contention with it. I think what's presented is a very good use of the property. I was supportive of it at the Plan Commission. I understand those that live around there are going to be affected. I would also just touch, you know, on the study for the road improvements. And I understand that there's some needs up there with or without this development. And unfortunately, road improvements generally don't occur prior to development. It would be wonderful to think that they could, but generally speaking, they happen after.
Okay. Any comments? Okay. Chair, would, Tim, anything else you want
Yeah,
to bring
just
forward?
want to make one comment that it was in the staff letter, but I want to point it out that the covenants and restrictions should not be made part of the ordinance, that those are privately enforceable and not the responsibility of the Plan Commission. So I just want to make that clear.
Mr. President, I'll make a move to follow the proposal from the Plan Commission for denial.
Okay. Is there a second for that motion? Before I make a motion on your motion, I'm going to make some comments for discussion. The comp plan, which we, the three of us, approved for the county. Two of us, sorry, it was Phyllis, yeah.
No,
No?
I was a commissioner
Oh,
then,
you-
I did
oh,
not
you
support
did
it.
not support it, excuse me, my apology. But anyway, the comp plan was approved by the commissioners, 2-1. And that was in 2025. So that was an amended comp plan that existed since 2006, I think it was, or 20, something like that.
6, yeah.
But the comp plan, and it says in the comp plan that it's a guide. It is not an ordinance. It is not something that is set in stone, but it's a guide. And I think all three of us understand that, and I believe the Plan Commission does as well. I personally have talked to several people about this project, including the school system, and the school system's concern with the project deals more with the fact of the change that the legislature, state legislature had this year and the funding that could affect schools. So there's kind of two sides to it. The growth in students in the Brownsburg public school system, the elementary numbers are lower coming in than the graduating classes going out. And so there's concern from a funding standpoint on the system that uses property taxes that it will negatively affect the Brownsburg schools. On the other side, a housing project like this that's proposed that is more of a middle to upper middle income type of home that would attract people with a higher income level, and if things change to a local income tax funding lit that would go to help fund the schools, this could have a positive impact then. So you've got both sides kind of working against each other, I guess, if you think about it that way. The county has spent considerable amount of dollars and is in the process of spending considerable amount of dollars on infrastructure in that part of the county. The Ronald Reagan Parkway, the regional sewer district work that's been done, the water and sewer, it's been mentioned, is right at the south end of this project. And there is a lift station that has been in place for some time that's almost dry, quite frankly, and that needs to be really put in use. The 43-acre site, if it was approved, does not mean that the change in the zoning is for all of Brown Township. It's just for that site. That there could be a lot of other things happen, such as is mentioned in some of the information that I think Mr. Starkey has left with us, that perhaps could be done in Brown Township or other locations in the county that might fit better in a park situation and so on. And So I think we need to give some thought or think about that as well. This project, immediately to the east of it, there are homes that range from $700,000 to $1 million, down to $450,000. So the price of homes is good in that, from that standpoint. Staff recommended a neutral recommendation or comment to the Plan Commission. And you've heard what the Plan Commission's recommendation to us is. With that said, I would ask again, based on Commissioner Gentry's motion for recommendation, to accept the Plan Commission's recommendation of 5-1 negative. And I didn't hear a second from you, and I will not second that either. So with that, that motion dies. The chair would entertain another motion.
I would move for approval as CA 53126 Dries Premier Homes.
Is there a second? I will second that motion. The reason I'm voting yes on this is I think this is a good use of this land. And I think this is my area as a commissioner, and I understand that. I hear the voices that are speaking against this project, and I've heard that. But I've also had voices that have told me they are in favor of this project. They're not as public as the negative voices, and I understand that. My additional comments would be to the developer to look at, in your comments to us, John, you said up to 88 homes. I would encourage the developer to make the lot sizes totally a lot larger. And I would also encourage the developer to look at the buffering again on the east side that would go from the south end of the project to the north end of the project, and to perhaps look at increasing that buffer area as well, or what's done with that buffering, so that could be done as well. So with that, I would call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Aye. Thank you very much. Tim, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your hearing of this. Appreciate it. And on Mr. Starkey, on what you presented to us, I have talked to the Parks Department, and they are willing to talk to you and at some point and have a meeting.
That'd be great.
And we'll see if something could be developed.
That'd be awesome. Thanks.
You bet. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is Link first quarter reimbursement claim. Stacy? Stacy, you're not Stacy.
Stacy gained weight, got a beard, changed the name. I'm Tony Hamlin. I'm the CFO for Sycamore Services.
Yeah.
Stacy is not too far from here at
All right.
jury duty.
Oh, okay, all right.
Rather be here.
Yes, rather be here. I believe that for sure. So, I'm Tony Hamlin, 197 North Wayne Street, Danville, Indiana.
Yes, thank you.
And I've got the quarterly and the annual where you guys assign. I don't know the protocol. Do I give them and return them, or do I pick them up later? What do you guys usually do?
We need to act on the chair would entertain a motion for the first quarter management exhibit claim form.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And then our next item is the Link grant application, and that's for me to sign only as president, or actually, maybe I sign both of these as president.
I flagged where they need signatures, so that helps.
Email them to our.
You need a subsequent motion, Mr. President?
Yes,
Move
please.
for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
We'll get you some autographs.
Thank you. we can get them back to you.
Yes.
Okay, thanks,
Stacy,
Mike.
all right, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Next item is proclamation for Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week. The day is May the 15th, and the week is this week, I believe. Captain Love is not here. Do you want to say anything, Sheriff?
So yeah, it's National Police Week. Obviously, they're doing their ceremonies in Washington DC this week, which is somewhere that we went last year.
Yeah.
Took a big group to honor Deputy Fissler, and so great opportunity for that. There'll be a ceremony at the courthouse on Friday.
Okay.
And all of them will be reading the names of law enforcement officers here in Hendricks County.
What time will that be on Friday?
Noon.
12 noon. Thank
Noon on
you.
Friday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So this is a proclamation. It's proclamation Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week. And in witness whereof, we, the Board of Commissioners of the County of Hendricks, Indiana, set our hands and cause the seal of Hendricks County to be affixed this 12th day of May, 2026 for this proclamation. And we will sign this right now.
It's in your packet.
Pardon?
There's a blue one in your packet in the
Oh,
binder.
there is?
Fancier one in the packet.
Forget it.
Then he'll sign it twice.
No, it takes all three.
Well, you already signed that one, so.
All right. Next item on our agenda is HVAC equipment purchase for the animal shelter. Zach, welcome.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Zach Sheese, Garmon Construction, 3050 Poplar Street, Terre Haute, Indiana. What you guys have in front of you is the proposal for the Ballant HVAC air handler unit for the animal shelter. Cost is $123,000, flat rate. The lead time is 16 to 18 weeks if we purchase at this time, which is crazy, but it's that time of year, so. This is the basis of design. So this is everything we've done our testing and our investigations on. This is the piece of equipment that is, best fit for the space.
Comment I would make is that when we started all this process of work on the animal shelter and so on to push this along, we did it as an emergency, and that is exactly why we did it. We considered it an emergency. What's happening with the HVAC equipment purchase on this does not mean it's not an emergency. We're at the mercy of the manufacturers of the equipment for this type of facility. And this, as I understand it, from you folks at Garmong and the engineers involved, this is replacing equipment that really probably should have never been put in to a facility like that.
And not operating up to its full potential.
Right. So this will handle that. But like you said, we're at the mercy of the manufacturer. So.
One caveat to this is the residential style equipment that is up front that maintains the main part of the business is readily accessible and readily available. So if once the approvals come in and the proposals come in on Thursday for the HVAC bids, which will be sealed, once we get that information, we make our selection on who we're going to use. We can do that one in a timely manner. We can jump in and take care of that, and we can save this one for once the piece of equipment shows up.
And part of the process was trying to expedite it, was buying this direct as they were working through qualified HVAC vendors, rather than delay the equipment or ordering even further.
Okay. So the chair would entertain a motion on this purchase.
Move for approval.
Second, just a question.
Yes, go
How
ahead.
soon? How soon can you get it in operating?
16 to 18 weeks.
16 to 18 weeks, yeah.
May I make a couple of clarifications?
Please.
A couple clarifications. Mr. Eichmann has executed maintenance agreements on the existing unit through the summer, to make sure that it stays in full operation until the new unit comes in. We appreciate him being proactive with that. The bids that he referred to will take this unit out of those bids, but they will agree to install it when it comes in, so it'll be a continuous process. And I also want to confirm that this is the main unit that sits above the animal shelter. It's above the animal containment area in the attic. It will no longer be there. It will be moved to the ground outside, so we don't have to maintain it in the attic going forward. So there are a bunch of major things going along with this, but all the other work is proceeding at the same time we're waiting on this. He has procured quotes that'll be due Thursday for all the general work. That's the ceiling tiles, the painting, the hallway protection from the moisture, the building modification for more animal kennel space. All that work will continue while we're waiting for this unit to come in. So there's nothing stopped in the process.
Question? All things being equal, that'd be September, I assume. How many days of installation will it be? Would there be a time when we would need to pause and wait till October when they have the
I think the only way I can answer your question is we anticipate it'll take a couple weeks to get that unit in, so we're going to need moderate temperatures.
Right. That's what I'm looking for.
But we're anticipating 100%, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're anticipating 100% completion of this project by October 31st.
Okay. Thank you.
And as of right now, I have talked to the electrical contractor. Materials are being delivered. So hopefully we're going to be able to move light fixtures to site either at the end of this week or beginning of next and start swapping out light fixtures for that proposal that was accepted. And then also the new freezer that's going to be set outside. That is going to be here the first couple weeks of June, so we can get that installed as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Please vote.
No.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Yes.
I noticed there's nowhere for them
Thanks.
to sign.
Thank you, Zach. Anything else?
Is there anywhere for them to sign on that?
I can get that.
I didn't see anywhere for them.
I can get that from Spencer and get that to you.
I don't think we really need a signature.
They don't need a signature?
We just need authorization.
Just authorization.
So you got it.
We're not gonna change our mind.
Go for it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to make any comments? Miss Animal Shelter? Thanks, Christie. Yeah. All right. Next item on our agenda is the NDOT interlocal agreement for asphalt testing.
Yeah, we're doing this next section of the parkway as strictly as a locally funded project. Typically on large scale projects like that and on previous sections of the parkway, they're NDOT funded. And when that happens, there's a certain amount of involvement from NDOT in some of the testing activities. We do quality control testing, send it to their labs, and they assist. NDOT has a system of penalties and bonuses based on how the asphalt tests out, so they help administer that. In this case, we don't have that assistance since it's not federally funded. So we started talking to testing firms and contractors about what our best route to go was, and found out that NDOT has actually provided this service on some other locally funded projects. And so Kim started talking to them, and they were more than happy to do that. They gave us a fee proposal that's very competitive. We got another quote or an estimate from a private testing firm that was about $180,000. In addition, we have the expertise of NDOT, and I can be critical of NDOT sometimes, but in some things they're very, very good. And they wrote the spec book. I mean, they wrote the standards. They know how to enforce them. They know what's going on. And so it's good to have them on our side when it comes to negotiating penalties, negotiating bonuses, and dealing with maybe test results that don't come back that great. So it's good to have that depth of assistance behind us. And so we think this is a really good deal to enter in an agreement with them to provide those testing services for us.
Question, Mr. President? I'll second it.
All right,
And a question.
go ahead. Yeah.
How does this work with inspecting engineers, John? Do they forward this?
Yeah, typically and Kim can tell you better than I could on the process, but typically our the contractor is responsible for some of the testing. But then typically our inspector will take samples and then get them to the NDOT lab for their testing. In this case, NDOT's going to, in this case, we'll have to pay NDOT to test them, but they will.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Thank you. Next item is a amendment number 2. This is for County Road 1000 North, which you heard this morning at the Drainage Board. This is the second amendment to their design contract. First amendment covered an additional hearing. If you remember, we had a public meeting and then we had a hearing. So the first amendment number 1 was to cover that cost because the original scope just included 2 meetings. This is for 2 or 3 added items. One is we had to go through a lot of redesign and iterations of design for some utility relocations. Following the last hearing we had, we also asked them to put together a multi-use path study to show that it was, the county's position is we will add that at a future date. And we asked them to compile that information to ensure that that can be done. And then the third item was to stake right of way for property owners, and that was not in their original scope. So we negotiated a fee with them. They came down on their fee for us, and we think this is a fair amount. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? John, my only question is, will there be an amendment 3?
Dave? Will there be an amendment 3?
You can't answer.
We're on the home stretch now.
You can't answer that. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I had to, so.
We're on the home stretch now.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's going well.
And if you haven't driven up there, you can see, there's actually a lot that's been going on, and you can see it, so.
We cleared a bunch of trees for some utility relocations. Some of the property owners have relocated, the one property owner on the south side's relocated his fence. So we have secured one of the 4F parcels.
I was wondering about
And
that.
I think we have 2 more to get. Once we do that, we can go full bore with our utility relocations. Some of the utility relocations can go ahead and take place now. Some of them rely on those other 2 parcels, and then we have 1 property in condemnation. But everything else is in place. So.
Great. Go ahead with the asphalt.
Yeah, the next item I have, this is for several years, I'm gonna say maybe 10 years now, we've used a product called a Reclamite, which is a rejuvenator that we've applied to streets. It's not really a sealant. What it does is it soaks in and it actually softens the asphalt, helps it heal, helps it blend back over and seal itself better. There's a company called Hendricks out of Indianapolis that it's a proprietary product that they developed, and they apply it. So it's a sole source professional service that we've used them for a number of years. Primarily in subdivisions, but we also have been doing it on rural roads more frequently in the last few years. And we think it adds several years of life to our roads. So we think it's a good treatment. We do it at certain intervals depending on the age of the road. A lot of communities are using this. There's actually another product that's been developed that's an asphalt-based product. We actually have that included in our annual bid. It doesn't have the history that Hendricks does. So we are using it as well to see how it compares, but we're using it in a little smaller quantity right now. But this is an especially large quote from Hendricks, and normally in the past we've paid for it out of our budget, but this is a big enough project for them that I felt I needed to bring it to you. This covers about 26 miles of streets and county roads that we're doing this on. They price it by the square yard, but it's about 26 miles of street.
Yeah. And you've already, I think you said, you've already been doing some of roads with the treatment like this.
We've done it for quite a few years, yeah, probably about 10 years. Avon uses it in their subdivisions. Also, I don't know what other agencies around the county use it, but they're pretty widely used.
It's almost like a sand or something.
They blot it with sand. They come back over and they spread sand over it to help soak up any excess. Then they come and sweep up the sand.
Okay. Yep. Chair would entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead.
The last item I have for you is an agreement with USI Consultants. We've talked a number of times about our ADA transition plans and implementation plans that we're required to have because we're recipients of federal money. And that covers very wide range of issues involving county-owned facilities, sidewalks, all our county-owned buildings. But it also opens up into the population in general to complain about issues. So that's administered out of the engineering department and has been for some time. Our initial plan we set up back, I think 2014, maybe 2013. And everybody's kind of fumbling around at that time. We did create the initial plan, the initial push to do this when NDOT started pushing it. But the rules are constantly changing. I mean, constantly changing. The people that enforce the rules don't really know what they're enforcing sometimes. That's a commentary on my part. But they're taking it pretty seriously, and the implications of not complying and not doing what they want us to can be pretty serious as far as our recipient of federal funds. And I don't mean just highway funds. I mean, any federal funds we get are dependent on this being in place. So Kim Galloway is the, much to his disgust, and he begs me to take that title away from him, but he's our ADA coordinator. Okay. So he's asked around, he's been to several workshops and some training sessions and talked to a lot of people doing the same thing in other agencies, counties, and towns. And we need to update our plan and our implementation plan and our transition plan. We need to get it up to speed and up to meet what the state wants. And pretty much every agency we've talked to just says hire a consultant that does this all the time and is immersed in it and get it over with. Because that's the only way, they're the only ones that are involved enough in it to know what we need to do and to set it up. And they can take a good objective look at what we're doing and make a plan. USI has some experience in this. He actually talked to another firm as well, a company called Intech Management Services, Intac Management Services. And their quote was about 3 times what this one is. We work well with USI on a lot of projects. We've talked a lot to Jody Koblitz, who works there, and she's pretty familiar with this. Sherry, I don't know if you want to talk about this at all, but we would recommend entering into an agreement with USI to perform these services for us, and it to be completed, I think, in early 27. Now, the issue is funding. Obviously, we don't have a budget line for this. We weren't anticipating this at budget time. So there's several ways. I'm open for suggestions on how you want me to fund it, and I don't know if you want to sign this agreement now or wait till after we have funding approved.
You could do a car wash or a bake sale.
Bake sales, yeah, that'd be fine, yeah. Maybe we could, maybe when we clean out the highway garage, we can sell some scrap, maybe we'd have some stuff there, raise some money.
Question, Mr. President?
Yes.
So the 84.9 just gets us the plan.
Gets us the plan, the implementation plan, but it also some assistance, I think, once we get it in place. All right, sure.
So then, is there a time span we could spread complying with our own plan that would spread that?
The plan will lay out, I think, a time frame because they're not going to expect you to bring, the plan covers, we have 105 miles of sidewalk in our site, just for an example, and 566 sidewalk ramps. So in reality, the majority of those probably don't comply with current standards because those standards change a lot and they're not always built right. So they're not unrealistic enough to expect we're going to be able to actually correct all the corrections that need to be made within a time frame. What they want is a plan saying here going forward how we're going to systematically address these issues.
That makes sense.
So it doesn't tie us down to, you have to have all 566 ramps replaced.
Sure. I'll move for approval.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Question?
We didn't solve his funding
Todd
problem.
or Mila, can the commissioners pay for this out of monies that we would have?
85,000 extra.
We don't have it either. We're gonna have to do a bake sale too.
Probably.
Okay, got it. All right. So we'll need to ask the
Subject to council approval.
council's
Right, there you go.
approval for an additional appropriation. Okay.
All right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Comments from the floor. Would anyone in our meeting like to make any comments to us? Most of the people, I think, that wanted to make comments left. Sorry about that. But we do have a gentleman that usually makes comments.
I'll wait till he comes up.
Jay Thompson, 7722 Quail Creek Trace in Pittsburgh. Last week, I was down at the Danville School garage with the Aries folks. We're looking at putting in a new repeater on their tower. And then I went over my notes over the weekend, and there looks like there's 3 unused antennas on your tower at the highway garage. So I was wondering if I could put it before the Aries guys, if you would mind, maybe if they wanted to use that because the coax is in place, we'd probably have to change out the antenna. It's directional. We need an omnidirectional to cover the whole county. But your antenna height's about 120 feet according to my measurements, and that down there was going to be about 75 feet above ground level. So in theory, we would probably have better coverage. But I
Jay,
didn't
did you
know.
mention Aries?
Yes.
Yes, I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, so I didn't mention it to Gordon and those guys at the time because it just slipped my mind because I hadn't been over to the tower
The curvature
highway
of the
garage
earth.
in a while. So, but there's 3 antennas that were probably used in an old system for the VHF system, what they call a voting system, where they had receivers out in the county and they fed signals back to that tower and selected the best one.
I'd be in favor of granting Aries access.
So anyway, if
The
you're,
old highway garage.
yeah, the highway garage, yes, and I'm assuming.
Not own at some point.
Yeah, I was wondering, that's something else that John and I were talking about in email maybe a few months ago. Is that the county's intention to keep that spot there? Do we know, we own the ground, all right? But I think Sprint originally had equipment there and they pulled it
Well,
out.
the tower to me, the tower footprint could be separate.
I was wondering if that would be, because do you generate revenue off of that from renting from other people? I think there's some other.
I think we do.
It's minimal.
Because Crown Castle.
It's less than, I think, 12,000 a year. It's minimal.
Okay, pretty minimal, okay, because Crown Castle kind of has, there's signs on the gate, you're supposed to report in anytime you go into there.
The original deal when we started that first time was everybody got pagers. So that tells you how long ago that was.
Yeah.
I don't know what would become of that with a sale. It kind of depends on the terms of the sale. We could keep that separate since it's subject to a lease or just transfer it to the new owners. I don't know how the lease reads. I would think it would say with owner and assignees. I don't know.
It's an asset, and I'd certainly encourage us to try to hang on to it, the county highway repeaters there and the tornado warning siren system, so that's pretty key.
I think the commissioners, certainly by consensus, are in agreement with doing something, we just don't know the detail of it.
Yeah,
So
like I said.
let us look into where we are and what might happen, but it sounds like a good use
Yeah,
anyway.
because I think that the
And
whole
it-
site is.
And it could end up being that the tower would go away even, I don't know. So, but we'll look into it.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
because I think it's definitely an asset the county ought to hang on to, even though you're getting rid of that parcel. I mean, it's not really gonna be in the way, it's right off.
We don't have a timetable for, once the highway department moves, we do not have a timetable for when we're gonna get rid of that parcel and everything on it, and so on. We haven't put that together yet, but we'll look at it.
Okay. I'm well
Anything
set in
else?
case you ask for social security number, because I.
No, we don't need that. Yeah, we know where you are.
All right. Well, interested to know there was one that was, somebody created a wallet manufacturer, put a sample social security card in a wallet back in 1938.
Yeah.
And by 1943, over 5,700 people filed for social security using that number. That was in it. Yeah, it was sold at Woolworth and people opened up the wallet, found that sample and said, there's my number.
Well, then, don't publicly
So I've
tell
got that one
us your
here.
number.
Or you can find that on the
Don't lose
website.
that piece of paper. All right.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the floor? I'm gonna put, Renee, I'm gonna put you on the spot and ask you a question. So you're fine, you don't have to walk up here. Renee Tomlinson with the 911 call center. At the advisory board meeting, you brought forward the need for spending, I think it was $1.2 million for X. Tell us what that is.
Okay, so you can hear me, okay? I mean, I don't have a problem with being loud, so.
Oh, yeah, I guess you need
Okay.
to come up here, so it'll go on the recording. All right.
Things we have to do for one.
Sorry.
Okay, so the $1.2 million is for a computer that is communication-wide. So we have different computers that do different things, clearly, and it's the software in the computer that speaks to the outside world. So it's all of our radios, it's all of our toning, how we get the fire departments there in the first place. You talk about VHF, it's the 800 system, it's all the communication that gets us to the outside world. If we did not have that computer and the software to integrate what we have as far as the radios and what the other equipment we have inside, we would not be able to communicate. Therefore, we go way back in time and we'd have to call them on the phone or on their cell phones, which is not even feasible with all the first responders that we have. And so this piece of equipment is, they call it end of life. It doesn't mean that it's gonna die on December 31st, 2030, as most people kind of think, but it means that it won't be serviceable anymore. But this equipment is through Motorola, which they service a lot of 911 centers in the entire nation. And we will be competing with those systems if we wait until 2030. So my recommendation was we do it immediately so we don't have to compete with them. Also, Motorola is giving us a $450,000 discount if we do it now, right? So we do that, or we can put it in other budget cycles, but I don't want to wait because they won't support us anymore after this date. So I'm trying to get ahead of it. We found out about it about 2 years ago, but they did not have a working solution, and we have to have a wire line into the state system, and this is the only solution out there that has a wire line. There are other solutions that are wireless, but that's not the kind of thing that we operate, and that would be a whole cascading effect on other systems if we changed from wireline to wireless. So that is the whole Motorola issue, and that's why I was asking for it ahead of time so I could get ahead of it so that I'm not stressing out in 2028 or whatever. So that was that as well.
Thank you.
Trying to grasp the $450,000 discount.
I am. I'm going to hold on to it with both hands.
Oh, sure. The only reason I did this is because Eric Wathen is on the advisory board as well. And Eric sent an email already to the Hendricks County Council.
Okay.
Going to them at their meeting, 21st or something like that. I don't know what it is. For an additional appropriation.
Yes.
And to ask them for this, but I just wanted us to be aware of it, and by consensus, we support Eric going forward to the council for that. It's vital for the communication for this county, so.
Yes, I would be spending it one way or the other. Might as well capitalize on the savings, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's fine. I could talk all day about it, unfortunately.
I understand. Thanks. All right, elected officials. Anybody in the room? We went through the primary election well, and we thank our people here that were involved in that, and it worked well, and we thank the fairgrounds for what they did, because all those people weren't in this building.
Yes.
All the government and center employees.
Yes, so that was good. Okay, staff, Mr. Ayers.
I had a lot of things on my memo, but most of those are updates. I can answer any questions if you want. The one I was going to go ahead and point out, item 12, our GIS department, which is Clint Stoutenauer and Axel Baumeister, have been working a lot with the state GIS people to update and review information to make sure we're up to date, and they were appreciative of our efforts and sent Clint that certificate stating their appreciation for us helping them out for GIS data that's included in a number of state databases and information sources for planning purposes and emergency response purposes. So Clint and Axel do a good job of that, so I wanted to point that out.
Thank you. Any comments, John, from the meeting that you had yesterday, I guess?
Dave and Tim were also in that meeting. We mainly just discussed with the water company about processes of going through what they're planning up in that part of the county.
Yeah.
The kind of three projects. One is a booster station at Royalton, south of Royalton, so even the big city Royalton's in Boone County, the booster station is in Hendricks. And so obviously a lot of things that we needed to talk about that, mostly with Tim about getting site approvals and things they're gonna do there. And then two separate projects with water lines coming into the county and going to that booster station, a couple different routes up there. And so we talked about, you know, what they need to permit through me for road crossings and then through Dave for legal drains. They're running in easements, so really road crossings, the only time we need to permit them is when they cross a road, but typically they're running in easements. They are looking at changing their design along the parkway because they're planning on running along the east side of 900, but that's where the regional sewer line is also. So they're thinking about crossing to the west side of the parkway and running up that way. So there may be some coordination there for them to put their crossing in with parkway construction, but so it was mainly just a technical discussion on things they need to do if and when they build their line up there. So, Dave,
Question,
Tim,
Mr. President?
anything to add there? Or?
Did they, because I'm in that area, did they say anything to you about the return line?
No.
Because we've been told there has to be a return line to send treated water back to the reservoir. How wide is their easement? Is it wide enough to put another line in?
I don't know if they said how wide.
Those details.
Yeah, I don't know if they said how wide their easements are gonna be. They're gonna be like 54 inches down to their water lines, and they're like a 36-inch line.
Okay.
It's a big line.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear any talk of two lines in an easement. It was mainly just.
They showed us a tri-county plan, and there were multiple projects.
Yeah. So the return line may have a different route.
Right, so there were at least that many projects.
Yeah.
And they sort of.
Thank you.
So they could loop somewhere else.
So it wasn't really a discussion of the merits of the project. It was mainly technical.
Thank you.
More information will come midsummer, I would assume, on all those.
Thank you, John. Dennis.
Morning, everyone.
Good
You have a
morning.
chance to look at my report. If you have any questions, let me know. 2 words I have to say is forward progress.
Good.
We like that.
We like that, and you're still here, and we like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we appreciate what you're
Definitely.
doing.
I'm not going anywhere. Don't
Good,
worry about it.
Good, very good.
We're happy with you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Question,
you.
Mr. President.
go ahead.
What time are the doors on these days? What time? I had to
He's
go
not
let
in
Jack
charge of
Maloney
that.
in.
Yeah, but no, I talked to John. They should be opening at 7:30.
Okay.
If they weren't open at 7:30, let me know. And I believe
Okay.
he's doing that Monday through Friday now,
Okay.
because there's a lot of people at the
That's all I
county.
need to know. Thank you.
Dennis,
Sure.
on the, taking down the building on the east campus.
Yes.
That, whatever we call it.
Fairgrounds.
Yep.
Is that gonna be done like next week or the week after?
I'm hoping within the next 10 days, but
Oh, wow.
no.
Okay.
No.
I was joking.
Yeah, so was he.
I'm over-promising and under-delivering on that one. As soon as the utilities get shut off, which it takes up to 4 weeks, but I had to wait till all the voting machinery was out of there in order to get that process started. So I'm gonna drive it as fast as I can.
Good, thank you. Todd.
My items are for your information, and I'll be happy to answer questions or discuss any if you have any. Nothing requires action by you.
Yes, again, thank you for your efforts with the animal shelter and everything involved, and it's been more than you ever thought, but we appreciate it. Thanks. County Attorney.
Yeah. I'm going to request to have an executive session on some potential litigation over some leases that seems to be moving in that direction. I can't get responses at all at any time. So I think we have one scheduled for a couple weeks.
26.
I spoke to Milo. We could add that to that agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Very good.
That's all I have.
Okay. Commissioners.
I don't have anything, sir.
Sheriff, question for you. It was brought up earlier in our meeting on the Brown Township project about, I'll just call it public safety in some of that area. What are your concerns that you might have regarding all the quote runs that go up there? I didn't bring it up to follow up with what was said at the time, but I did want to at least kind of get something on the record, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll share that northeast corner is very busy for us. Obviously, the east side of the county is busier than the west side of the county. When you look at population and you look at how close homes are to each other and sometimes what problems that causes, right? I think the more distance that you can put between a home, the better off that you can be. When you can't fit a mower between the houses, those neighborhoods, we have a lot more trouble in. Unfortunately, people get frustrated with each other, but you know, I will say, I mean, we were fully staffed at the first of the year as our merit deputies go. We're down one currently. We're in a process with that one opening. I think we had over 70 applicants. So that's looking up. We should have somebody hired here in the next, by fall, to be back fully staffed on the merit side again. And, you know, those numbers are helping us, but obviously the more houses, the more homes, the more residents between police and fire and communications that we have to respond to. Obviously, you know, we continue to handle it as it comes. Obviously, you've provided, I think, 5 new deputy positions since I've taken over as sheriff. I think 5 deputies and maybe 6 jail positions, and that's been a great help. But we had to fill the positions, and that was part of the problem, right? And we're being able to do that now. So we're doing all right there. I've got a numerous group that are in training, so once they're actually out and on their own, I'll really be able to see kind of where we're at. Do I think as we continue to add these housing additions, are we going to have to increase the number of deputies? Yes.
Okay.
So that we can cover the county. But we have upped our minimum staffing from 5 to 6 this year. So there will always be 6 deputies out at any given time. There could be up to 11 out at any given time. So that puts us in a better position than we've been for many, many years. And so, yes, is there going to be need as we move forward? But can we handle it? Yes. So,
What kind of cooperation, relationship do you have with the town police departments across the county?
So the relationships are amazing. I will tell you, as a young deputy, there wasn't always such a great relationship between the towns and the chiefs and the sheriff at times, but I love my chiefs. They do a great job, and you know, we kind of grew up in law enforcement together as officers and deputies, and so we also got to work around those times when the leadership didn't get along, and so we have a great relationship, and that starts at the top. We assist each other. I always tell people, like, if you see a major scene, an incident, you're going to see agencies from most of the county, full-time law enforcement, on that scene, because we help each other, right? And in the end of the day, serving the community is the most important thing, and it doesn't really matter jurisdictionally in those moments, right? Whoever needs to take responsibility ultimately will, but we go and make sure we get the scene secure, and make sure we're taking care of one another. So I will tell you, Brownsburg helps us up in that area a tremendous amount.
Okay.
Obviously, their jurisdiction is very close. They have nearly as many officers out at any given time that we do.
Okay.
Covering a smaller area, and so they're obviously there and sometimes available where they can assist us. But we go in town and assist them as well. So great relationship.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Thanks. Thank you very much. And thanks for all that you do and your staff does.
I'm blessed to have some amazing human beings that do
Yes.
this job.
Yeah, that's right. And we are blessed to have you for another term.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Another comment I would make that I just lost track of, so I guess I won't make.
I have one.
Yes, Mila.
Since Doug Morris isn't here, there was an email chain from Nancy about transferring ARPA funds from the regional sewer project to Doug's project. And something needs to be formally approved during your meeting to have it for the minutes, but it's $275,449.65 that they're wanting to transfer for his Microsoft licensing.
We talked about that, and I
Okay.
thought it was proactive to ensure good use of the funds.
We're just trying to double check the balance. Lau is showing one balance, Nancy has another balance, and we're trying to determine,
Which one's right?
yes, because it might cut us close on the regional sewer project if it's the lower amount.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
So by consensus,
I would probably do a motion because she needs it for her ARPA records
okay,
to transfer it from that one project to IT's infrastructure project.
okay.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
for a to-be-determined final amount.
Yeah,
I know his final amount, which is the $275,449.65.
it's a
Way we're
matter
short.
of do we have it or not, so.
We have that, we don't have, might have to be short on the other.
We might be a little short.
Okay.
We'll find
Thank
it.
you, Mila, for bringing that up. And I still can't remember, so. Sorry.
I've got a lot to remember.
Sorry. Anything else? Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Regularly scheduled Hendricks County Regional Sewer District Board meeting to order. If you would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I like that idea, Denny.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Thank you for all those attending. First item before us is the approval of the minutes from our April 14th meeting. Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approval of the claims.
Move for approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of paying our bills signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you to Mila for the way she's put this together.
Yeah, I don't have to read them off anymore.
Nor does somebody have to handwrite checks.
Right.
I had to get that in there. Exit 59, I-70. Any conversation, update? Jim and I chatted briefly. Go ahead, Sajid.
Yeah, so I'll get an update from Jim about what you discussed, but we do have, at the last meeting, you approved a letter of intent to go to Liston and Clayton, so we
Yes.
have those drafts.
Awesome.
You can take a look at them, see if it's okay with you. And if they're okay, they're ready to go.
This is Liston and Clayton?
Yeah, 2 letters of interest for a partnership with them.
Bob, this is just to get a discussion going with those
Okay.
parties and show an
Yes.
interest.
Yes.
We've had soft conversations previously. This is the formal.
And they're expecting this, or you've left them to understand
let
that it was the next step.
Mr. President, I spoke with the Liston and Clayton people and told them to be expecting this.
Yes. And the next step after this would be reaching out for further, this is step 1.
Chair would entertain a motion to authorize me to sign these.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
These copies all right? Is that it?
Yep, you can sign that
All right,
one.
I'll
Yeah,
get them
thank
signed
you.
in a minute. And I'd mentioned to Jim briefly, Mila will provide the letter that I'd mentioned
Okay.
for you guys to review that we had sent out probably 3 weeks ago.
Great.
Any other discussions?
I want to wait to discuss it under, I guess,
Wishes to be heard.
wishes to be heard, but it deals with I-70, 39, and that whole thing, so, yeah.
Okay. We'll move on to the Aqua Indiana report.
Morning. I'll add to the report, a little bit slow right now, but as you'll hear from Karen's report, they're reviewing a lot of things, so we expect pretty good growth to pick up here in the next couple of months.
We approved an 88 home development for you that you'll get some EDUs on over the next 4 years. So we're gonna put that sanitary line to use.
Great.
Anything else you want to add on Aqua? Structure point.
Morning. Yeah, so since the beginning of the year, we've gotten already like 10 or 11 developments for plan review, which is.
Yeah, I get copies
which
on
is
all those. I just love all those
more-
emails.
More than we normally have gotten by this point. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on.
What are these, excuse me, what are these emails regarding?
Usually it's the approval process or the
It's the
final steps, and
approval,
it's
yes.
fine. But I tend to know
We
where we're
don't, not
about to
all
get
the
next
back and
sewer.
forth is you copied, but on the official, the sewer district approving the plan
Okay.
from the sewer company.
It's fine.
The minutia.
But I see them. I generally will read them, or my email's getting a little out of control, but.
So yeah, the home development that you mentioned, they just submitted that to us last week, so we've started reviewing that, so you'll see that on next
I've been a
month.
little premature.
Yeah, well, there you go.
They were hoping for the best.
They were hopeful. So, just documenting, yeah, a lot of things in the I-74, kind of Ronald Reagan area is a lot of the development. So kind of listed there. Another building over in Avon Landing. So it's like 300 in Ronald Reagan. And so then with all of that development, we've been out inspecting and testing, witnessing testing of all the sewer infrastructure going in. And then we've gotten, I've kind of noted here, sewer connection requests for several homes. So we kind of put together, we give them a snapshot of where they could connect and just kind of our process and fees and things like that. So we had 5 of those last month, so a lot of interest. We are wrapping up the low pressure sewer projects. We did a substantial completion walkthrough 2 weeks ago. So they are working through that final punch list, which is supposed to be done by the end of May. So those will be wrapped up. And then we did have the pre-con for the County Road 750 project. And then we also were coordinating with the Reagan project, Phase 1B, which I know you've heard about. So our inspectors attending their progress meetings, they're attending our progress meetings. The contractors met on site, and I was there last Friday in the field to just talk about coordination, working together. No conflicts between the projects. It's more just about coordination and timing.
And as those teams meetings we've advanced a little bit in that project, I will jump on some of
Okay.
those meetings.
And
But I
I
think
was
with
gonna
the
ask-
Friday one, I had a minor conflict, and it didn't
So
think
they
it was too
meet
far
like
down the.
every other Wednesday morning on a Teams call, and so they have one tomorrow, and then I'm kind of pointing at John Ayers, but then the sewer project, we're every other Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to just put you on there as optional or.
I will probably jump on at some point as the project advances a little bit further.
Okay. So that's kind of that project, just kind of as a side note. And then on here I have kind of our north planning update. So we've been pulling everything together, looking at how that's going to develop, and then thinking about where we could just have a plan for wastewater. So just as things progress or we get requests, we already have the plan established. So I did want to request or just kind of ask for your kind of approval to reach out to Pittsburgh, Brownsburg, and CEG, just from hey, the sewer district within their territory is doing a planning, and we just want to document. We've already grabbed all of their existing study information, so we know we're not going into areas that they want to serve. It's more of just letting them know, yeah, could there be a partnership in the future? Could, if something develops right where we don't have anything, yeah, could we work with them, on an interim basis or things like that? So I just wanted to kind of get your permission to reach out via email and just let them know what we're working on.
So being comprehensive and transparent, that's,
Just
I think, is what Karen and I have talked about, and I think we should.
Good open conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it would be a little different than a conversation like with Liston or Clayton. It would just be more, hey, we're working on a plan
This
and wanted
is
you to be aware.
transparency. Again, it's just.
Mr. President, I've talked to Joe Miller, and under Senate Bill 1, I said, who's going to be running the sewer plants in Stylesville, Clayton, Stop? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why it's gonna be imperative that you guys help them out.
It's gotta be mutually beneficial.
Yep.
And it will be.
100%.
It's gotta work for all
Yeah,
parties.
that's right.
For the betterment of the county.
Yep,
So-
absolutely.
So let me jump in, if I may.
Please.
And go to some thinking at I-70 and 39 then. I'll put it this way, we are going to build a wastewater treatment plant down there, get that done. What if, this is not my idea, it was given to me by somebody, but what if we entertained the thought of going across to Morgan County, talk to Monrovia, see if they would work with us on their needs as well, because they do not have the capacity nor the dollars, as I understand it, to expand their plant. What if we tried to work together with them, just like you're talking about, that you brought up? And why not reach across there and see what might happen with that? I don't know if that's a crazy idea, but.
I'm looking for Aqua's response to that.
Yeah.
There's a force main already built that they can pump to us.
Wow.
It goes, the line goes back and forth.
Well,
You go
of course
both-
it does, yeah, right.
And so there's always that option. That's
If
not.
they needed to offload or, yeah, they could send it. Yeah, and I'm not fully in the loop, but yeah, I mean, I know that with development near Monrovia,
Right.
that they may be getting outside assistance for their plant, but I don't know.
I have no idea.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
Would we invoke the current agreement that we have with Aqua onto this proposal that Commissioner Dawes just proposed?
Yeah.
We probably would.
Okay.
But I think we need to see if the letter we sent garners any kind of response, which it doesn't look like it's going to.
You mean
And
with Monrovia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Jim that I would provide him a copy of that.
So just so we're clear, we have an operations agreement for the exit 59. It's not the same agreement that we run what I call Hendricks proper, everything east of 900. If we go to the wastewater plant down there, that's where we're going to either need to do an amendment to the current agreement. Or a separate agreement because, how does the cost and things get
We
reimbursed?
need to be looking at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a discussion we need to start. As Denny said, we are going to build that.
2029 is when our current agreement expires. And yes, Aqua desires to have that renewed sooner than later.
Agree.
We've talked about different avenues of writing a separate agreement for that area, then it gets, why do you have to have a separate one? Why can't you just use the same one? And then we've talked to legal, potentially just do an amendment. There's different avenues that we need to address going forward, but having a clear focus of what the investment from Aqua's standpoint, the return on that investment, and how we do all those things.
I think we should probably be working through that.
I would agree, and I think we've been going that direction. It's just timing.
Any other comments, Denny?
No.
Bob?
No.
Financial report.
So your financials for the month, if you have any questions.
Directed to Mila.
I assume we need a motion on this?
I think we just need to acknowledge.
All right, by consensus, we acknowledge this report. Thank you.
Okay, now we've moved on to wishes to be heard.
I will bring up a discussion about the position of executive director. And as you know, we had entertained the idea and put a lot of work into a interlocal agreement that was 3 ways, I guess I'll call it. So commissioners, the council, and this board for that executive director position, which mirrored, for the most part, what we had with Jim when Jim was executive director. That didn't go anywhere with our county council for whatever reason. So in talking with our legal counsel and actually some discussion with the legal counsel for the county council, we can enter into an agreement with Mila Schaefer to be the executive director for the regional sewer district, and we can have a letter of agreement or a memorandum of understanding or an interlocal agreement, whatever, that's between the regional sewer district and the Hendricks County Commissioners, and she would be paid then from the regional sewer district for the work she's doing for the sewer district. And I'll leave it at that.
Do we need to?
For discussion.
Do we need to read into the record what the amount will be?
Probably.
For transparency, because I'm in favor of this.
I'm in favor of this. I
Okay.
mean, we put Mila in a tough spot, as many of you know, and we weren't able to navigate the climate as well as we had anticipated, but we've interimly solved it and would like to permanently solve it.
I would say that the dollar amount would be $25,000. That's an annual.
And that will, if I might, Mr. President, that would be for the, Mila would stay 35 hours for the county and then 5 hours for regional sewer. That would be the compensation.
Well, it's basically.
I wouldn't mesh the hours.
It's for the work she would do for the regional sewer district, right?
Okay.
She would need to come back to us, I think, if the amount of hours she's spending gets to be beyond what's comfortable for her to do in a reasonable way, and either request more or whatever, but we'll.
Good place to start.
As commissioners, we won't, with our hats on as county commissioners, we'll leave that position like it is. And so this is strictly with the regional sewer district.
Are we asking?
We'll get, Milo and I will get together, just
start
communicate.
and
Come up with
withdraw of agreement.
Come up with the best
Okay.
form of the agreement.
Okay.
One page.
Okay. Greg, do you need us to make a motion at this time to pursue this?
Just consensus, we got the
We've got
consensus.
consensus. All
we're
right,
good.
there we go.
All right.
Any other wishes to be heard? Comments from sewer district board members,
No, sir.
our interim executive director, legal counsel? Chair to entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
So maybe.
Have a motion, a second?
Yep.
All in